Teresa Chavez here with Facebook Live, our Parent Resource Live, which is a resource for you every Wednesday.
Sorry, it's spinning spiral of death.
Oh, that's okay, because that means we're still live.
Okay.
Goodness, parents, if you could see the connection that we have, I have tape rigging my computer to the table to make sure it is just right, just for you. But again, we are a resource for you every Wednesday at 11 o'clock. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you go to azscience.org, you can see all of the previous videos. We were going on 3 times a week, but with the summer busyness, we are 1 time a week, but we have lots of resources for you. So again, azscience.org, you can see our lesson plans, you can see our live videos, our demos, all sorts of great things. Again, here just to be a resource for you. So, as in the description, we are going to be talking about 21st century skills. And sometimes we hear about that. We hear about 21st century skills, we hear about STEM career and college pathways, and it just gets really confusing because we hear those words, but what does that actually look like? So today, we are going to be unpacking those. So I have a book here. It's rather lengthy, so I thought instead of going through this long book, I'm going to give you just a few tips of those skills that you can incorporate into your everyday life. So 21st century skills are really the skills that you would need to be successful in your future career. We are raising students for jobs and careers that don't even exist yet. So when we start to think of those things, it gets a little bit nerve-wracking. How do we prepare our students? How do we prepare our students during this time? So again, we want to be a resource for you. So when we think about that, when we think about what do we want as our ideal graduate, usually we don't think of a standard or an objective. We think, oh, I want them to be personable. I want them to manage a bank account. I want them to not be able maybe to come back after they leave the nest, or maybe we do. It depends on what you're up to for that. But again, it's not an objective or a standard. So what kind of skills are companies looking for to really make sure that we're preparing our students? And usually it's not necessarily the technical skills that are required for the job, it's those soft skills. So as we talk about 21st century skills, there are quite a bit, but we're going to talk about the top 4, and we call them the 4 C's here, and really it's what educators focus on, really adapting those soft skills to make sure that everyone is successful as they move forward, because we really don't know what it's going to look like in the future. So we have the 4 C's. So we have critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. So with critical thinking, we're really trying to have our learner being able to solve a problem and finding the solutions to the problem, and not necessarily feeling like it's only one answer to one solution, one answer to one problem, and then really being creative about it. So just because it was done 10 years ago doesn't mean it still has to be this way. So we want to empower our learners to be able to be creative and to be problem solvers. Now we have collaboration and communication, and sometimes I feel like those two are the most difficult to get our learners to be exposed to and have opportunities to interact with. So collaboration, working with others, and communication, being able to talk to others about what you're doing. We've all had those moments where we know exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it, but then we can't really articulate it, so not everybody on our team can do that. So I'm going to go through each of those skills and then give you a little tip about how you can do this at home. So the first step, we are going to start with critical thinking. Again, arguably, it's the most important quality for someone to have. Health sciences is really big on this, really able to think through the process. But in a business setting, critical thinking is an essential for improvement. So it helps to weed out problems and come up with new solutions to that because they've thought through the problem. So basically, this is what helps our students to figure out stuff when we're not around or our teachers aren't around. So with those engineering design challenges, and maybe if you're the first time watching, we have lots of them on our website, so feel free to click the parent section or our student section and you'll see lots of those challenges. But going through an engineering design challenge helps our students work through a problem, identify what questions they might have, what constraints they might have, and really just working through a problem to think critically. Again, we want our learners to think about their thinking and not just say, well, this is why I'm going to do it, and so what? So we have critical thinking there. Next up, we have creativity, which is my favorite, but it's a means of adaptation. It empowers students to be innovative and being able to adapt, which really creates our new positions in our jobs and just new ways to solve problems. So maybe, what's something that has been done 20 years ago, there's a new way of doing it and we're adapting to it and we didn't even realize. Again, it's being creative and open to those ideas. So sometimes our students get hung up on, I need to know exactly how to solve this. And instead of feeding into that as parents, there are often ways that we can do that by just encouraging them to think outside of the box. So with that, I wrote on my notes of what I can do at home since I'm self-quarantining still. What can I do? Can I backwards design something? Can I take apart something and figure out how it works? So if you have some old electronics, or maybe it's a little wind-up toy, but how can you take it apart and see how it works, and how can you be a creative problem solver to be innovative on rebuilding it or coming up with a new solution for how this works? Next up, we have collaboration, and this one's a tough one, especially for those of us who are social distancing and trying to stay at home. But in general, even before this, collaboration was tough. So it means getting your students to work together, achieving compromises. And compromises are hard because everyone tends to think they have the best idea. So collaboration is really working towards the best solution by taking everybody's idea and not just your own. And so a key element for this is willingness. You have to be willing to sacrifice your own ideas to help others, looking towards the greater good. So when we're talking about ways to collaborate, there can be challenges that you give, or maybe there's an activity at home that you're doing where you need to collaborate, and maybe you only have one learner at home. But is there ways to think of other students that you can connect with, maybe virtually, and maybe everybody has the problem to solve? Maybe it's grandma and grandpa who need something to do during this quarantine, where we're all working on the same challenge, but there's opportunities to collaborate. Even if it's virtual, that's definitely something. And last but not least is communication. So a lot of us think that we're great communicators, and sometimes we run into some trouble at work or in life where how we thought we were communicating is not necessarily the clearest way. So communication is really the glue that brings all of these qualities together. You need it for any company, any job, life, basically understanding those soft skills. So it's great if you have the best ideas, but if you can't communicate that, we're running into some trouble. So I use the reference of trying a couple things. So the first one is going through the engineering design process again. So whatever your student's plan is for the challenge that they're trying to solve or the problem that they're trying to solve, have them articulate it to you and give them a little pushback and ask them to justify why they're doing certain things. But another thing I had that you can do at home is trying a recipe. So let's say peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We do that a lot, or maybe we do strawberry and jelly, however you make your sandwich. But if you had your learner tell you all the steps on how to make that exactly how they say it, they will definitely pick up on those skills of, ooh, maybe I didn't explain that. Oh, I'm supposed to take the bread out of the package and I didn't explain that. Or wait, I'm supposed to take it out of the fridge first. So really breaking down those steps and making sure that you communicate. So, it's very important that we work on with those skills. I know it's really difficult at home, and I don't want to give you like a standard or objective just to nail down or a topic, but really just seeing different ways that you can work on the skills. Maybe it's a recipe, maybe you're taking something apart, maybe you're doing a virtual conference between friends and doing a play group. But really, those are just some of the 21st century skills. You're welcome to look online to see all the rest of them. There's technology literacy, all sorts of different ways to make sure you're prepared. But again, the top four are these, and it's a great way for just learners to feel engaged and to feel like they're applying something, and you're kind of sneaking in the vegetables. So that is my quick tip for the day. I hope it was helpful. Again, we're a resource for you, so I'll be checking the comments. If you need anything, if you need additional resources, just reach out. But again, check our website out. We have lots of videos. We have videos on YouTube. We have lesson plans. We have live demonstrations every day, Monday through Friday, while we have camps. But we're really trying to engage and hear from you and what you need. So I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you can come visit soon if you're available. We are doing guided experiences, which have been fabulous. So you have 4 options to choose from. So we're talking about superheroes, we're talking about space, we're talking about gross things, which your student will love, and we are talking about Victoria, our T-Rex, and what does paleontology and other STEM careers have to do with that. So there's your quick tip of the day. I want to thank you for your time. We value you very much, and if you need anything, let us know. Have a great day. Bye.